How's it? Bourne here, professional beach volleyball player, multiple time AVP and FIVB champ. Today we're here to break down some game footage. I often just watch film on my own when I'm just studying the game, so I figure why not bring you guys in on it with me this time. Let's dig in. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of me breaking down some volleyball film. So today I am bringing you a match that I really enjoyed watching. I got a few comments from you guys, and you guys want to see Taylor Crabb and you want to see Anders Mole play. I get it. They're amazing players. So I was thinking back to some of my favorite matches of watching those guys play, and when I was out of the sport, sitting out, I watched this match online. It is Jake Gibb and Taylor Crabb against Sorum and Anders Mole 2018 in Gstaad. It was a battle, and we're gonna watch the third set here today, all right? So let's dig in. Ball's out. I like how Taylor said it before, he doesn't always feel the need to bring heavy service pressure. So a lot of people want to jump serve a lot and float serve and hit all the spots. A lot of times he likes to give it to the team and then make them come to him and play into his defensive scheme. That's something John Hyden used to do with me a lot too, and I respect it. So you saw, that was a good short serve, but you wouldn't think you'd see a player at that level serving balls quite as easy as he does sometimes. It's because he's trying to set them up. Some nice vision there. Looks like they doubled up on defense. I'm not sure if that was a call or if Jake was just making his own read. Remember, this is the third set, so everything's on the line. And look at that crowd. So fun playing in front of a crowd like that. I was so excited for these guys. Actually, I was really jealous when I watched them play. Nice big swing. Anders is the most physical player in the world. He's also very technical, which is why he's the MVP. But you'll see most people go after Sorum, but it's important that people give Anders some serves as well. If you stay away from him, you can get there's a lot of reasons why. Even if one player's really dominant, you still want to serve them. You don't want to let one player get into a rhythm, and if you just keep serving them over and over, that player gets into a nice rhythm. So sometimes you want to switch it up. Sometimes the other guy can kind of be lulled to sleep. In this case, I don't think anyone's sleeping, but Christian was probably just siding out well, so they're switching it up. Jake Gibb swinging nice and high. Looks like they called it out. Taylor doesn't agree. Jake just has one of the nicest fans. He hits high, stretches the defense, but he can hit sharp. Everything's towards the sidelines. Deep corner, he goes high off the block. It's like a nice fan of the court where he can hit all the sidelines. And that's kind of what he's made his career off of. Jake doesn't have all the big highlight swings necessarily. I don't have much critique probably on this match, but let's watch this one again. Taylor just kind of sits right in the pocket, digs the heat. It's a good spot from him. And then look how flat that high line is. It's like on a rope. And somehow Taylor can still touch those balls. That's what makes Taylor so special. He can maybe that's why we call him the bug. He can crawl on the ground so low to the ground and just scoop under it, which is really hard to do for bigger players, but he's amazing. That's why you guys wanted to watch him. Serving Taylor in the middle could be a strategy there. They serve Taylor in the middle, tried to bring him into the middle, and then dive back to his line. Taylor sees the block, just as good, if not better, than anyone in the world. So Not an easy task there. Serving Christian short. That's something you always have to be aware of. If you're going to serve a player short and he has a huge dominant player on the other side, they better not get there early and be able to set up a perfect set, because then you're in a lot of trouble when you have a guy like Anders coming in on that 2-ball there. Wait, I think we missed the point. Oh, that hurts. Ace up the middle. 5-4. This is why Jake Gibb's so good, even at his age. He's not quite as physical as he used to be necessarily, but he just makes smart plays. He's up there jousting against a guy that's much bigger than him, covers himself out of it. Then he has somewhat of a clamp set because he's outside on the antenna, and a giant block like Anders can take up everything that the antenna is not like. He could probably take up 2/3 of the court from that angle there, and Jake knows, find the hands, tool them outside. It's just beach volleyball is a veteran sport, and once you learn all the veteran tricks, you're going to be much better. Most players are at a huge disadvantage there, and Jake turned it into an advantage. Interesting. Let's watch that back. Serving it Christian. Jake just goes kind of for a straight line, and Christian hits sharp. Jake's pissed about it. Maybe he just doesn't like his read that he went line there, but seemed like a good play to me. Oh. They kind of got themselves out of system there with the jump set, but when you're scrambling on offense, oftentimes the defense is scrambling as well, or pretty much always. So it's not always a bad thing for a set to be pushed outside or inside. As long as the hitter's footwork is better than the blockers, you can actually use it to your advantage. So like having a setter that's not that accurate isn't that big of a deal, because the setter who can put the ball in the same spot every time is really easy for a block and defense to line up on. Just some food for thought there for you bad setters to tell your partner. Way inside. Ooh. Jake Gibb's probably one of the most disciplined blockers. We're going to run that back again. Super disciplined, especially look how far he has to travel in this situation, and he knows what court he wants to take, how much space. He's just staying square. A lot of people, when they're diving sideways, they're going to pull their inside shoulder off, or vice versa. But he's drifting sideways, but he's staying super square and just taking up court, knowing that a moving block is actually, it's at a disadvantage because it's easier to tool. So if you have to stay really square and straight in that situation, and take up your space and trust that your defender's around you. But they tried to swing low seam, so if Jake's inside shoulder had pulled off, it would have been a kill. That's what makes Jake so good. He can seal those low seams really well. Here's another thing I love. Look at this block. So Jake's fully setting Anders up here. He wants him to hit that line. He knows that his responsibility is that line right there. But look, he's giving him space. He's showing it. And this is what coaches talk about, playing the game within the game. So Jake's inside. He knows he has line. He's not running a 3 here, I don't believe. But he's playing within the space that he has down the line. He's showing some, and he's trying to get Anders to bounce it there. And then he's leaving his one hand on the line, and he wants to Kong block it. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it, but I just love seeing plays like that where you're just committing and Go ahead, hit this low line over here. I'm gonna fully commit to it outside of my body line. Those are the blocks that the fans want to see, but Anders hits very high and hard, and you're not going to get it every time, but it's fun to watch. Only a really confident blocker, I think, will go for that in a situation like this. 7-7, halfway through the third set in Gstaad, in the stadium, fully packed stands. Ooh. That's a big block. I think Jake hit the shot he wanted, but you kind of just underestimate how big Anders is sometimes. And then the next play, he's like, oh yeah, let's remember how high he touches and keep it out of his reach. Now short serving Anders taking his approach away, and then Jake taking that cross body that he loves. He loves that sharp cross body. USA up. This is why covering is so huge. Ooh, that hurts. I don't know, is there a touch there or not? On film it doesn't look like a touch. Ref doesn't show a touch. Taylor's just swinging high hands. It's tough because it's a great play, but if you miss, you know it's going out of bounds, and he missed there. Jake with a little off speed. Like I said earlier, he has a huge fan, so he'll go off speed, cut hit. He doesn't really have a traditional cut necessarily where he's trying to like cuff it and it's gonna go high and loopy. Everything's down to the sand quickly. And I mean, that's the goal at the end of the day, is to get the ball down to the sand quickly. So a guy who can reach high and uses his height and his angles is really hard to stop. Oh. That was a double up there, and I think it looked like it was on purpose. Jake took a step. I'm going to run that back. You could tell that Taylor wanted him to hit angle, so he just kind of like sat there and said, hit at me, knowing that his blocker is going to dive into it. And watch this footwork by Jake. He's here. He's not just diving. He takes that little step. I call it micro step. Just a little step, and that makes all the difference in terms of how far he can reach. But Christian was smart. He went high, so the bait didn't work. But you could see like Taylor and Jake, they're both like, damn it, the plan worked, but he made a nice high swing corner instead. Oh, good shot by Taylor, but kind of scary. You know that he clinched a little there, knowing that Christian probably could have got on that with his left hand. Instead, he reached with his left. But I think Taylor coming in and hitting balls earlier is what set Christian up to be like a little bit on his heels. Let's see, what do they got dialed up? 11 all in the third. This is the good stuff. Looks like Christian got under the ball a little bit there. In crunch time, I mean, these guys are all really clutch players, but it just takes one little thing where you're overthinking it, or the other team makes a move and it makes you like hesitate. Everything happens so quick that the ball can drop and you hit it out, and I mean, look at this, 11, 12. Okay, so look, both guys in the line. I have no idea what they're doing here, what they're running. They're running a 2 or 5 maybe. This is kind of just confusing because it's a weird defense. So like when you do this, when you're both in the line, you're showing so much court that the offense knows it's like, okay, something's wrong here. Either the blocker's gonna go or the defender's gonna go angle. I don't know which one's gonna bail, but it's really tempting to just shoot like an easy loopy shot over, and usually that's what the other team wants. And it seems really dangerous to hit a low line here because they're both in the line. But that's exactly what Christian does, because he knows her. He's like, I'm gonna bet on one of you leaving. And if I see the block inside at all, I know Taylor's gonna try to dig it. And this is the hardest ball to dig probably in beach volleyball, because you're closest to the hitter. So just a good decision here. Now they go back to Anders. Anders swings high angle cross body. I mean, just using his physicality. When you're hitting super high and hard, it's so hard for a blocker to get a really good touch on it. Even if you know he's hitting it there, sometimes it's unstoppable. Inside. That's Taylor just doing Taylor things. Just super good vision and sees where the block's drifting. Serving middle, making him decide. Oh, that's so big. Oh my God. Let's run that back. 14-13 here. So this is it for all the marbles. And Taylor just stays really disciplined. They run a simple defense. Sits right in the pocket. Relax. Perfect dig. He gets under. I think he was expecting maybe a little quicker set, so he gets under it, which is a huge mistake, even though he makes a nice shot. Christian plays it. That was huge. I think the mistake there was, it's easy for me to say now, but that Taylor came in too quick and got under that ball. If he would have waited back, he would have been able to stay behind it and take a really good crack at it. Although that little drop shot he put there was pretty much as nice as it gets. But playing against the other top defender in the world. So 14-all. Going to Jake. That high angle swing. See, they knew it was coming. We're running that point back again, 14-all. Remember I said Jake hits that high hand swing a lot. He likes to use the block's hands. And Christian puts his hands right in it. Goes super high and right in the seam and gets a perfect touch. Fairly easy to, oh, sorry, he didn't even touch it. So I guess Christian just played it well. It's really just kind of a mishit by Jake. And then they put it away. So a mistake, I think, for Taylor and Jake there. And then a poor pass. And Anders presses over the net so quick. That one definitely hurt for the U.S. there. They knew they had him. I guess a little missed opportunities at the end there, but the Vikings put a lot of pressure on you. As you can see, look at the fans. They're going insane over there. So that was a good match. Thanks for watching. That was one of my favorite matches to watch. So I want to hear what your guys' favorite matches are to watch. I'm listening. I'm reading the comments. And yeah, I want to throw together whatever matches you guys like. And we'll keep learning together. So hit subscribe, share this with your friends if you like it. Share it with your beach volleyball partners so you guys can learn and get better together. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Aloha.